A few months ago, we received the main fireplace of the house. It is a very heavy one, weighing around 200 kilograms. The delivery truck left it here on the side of the house, and there was not a chance that Eugenia and I could move this thing by hand. So I called our orange volunteer. I did not have proper straps at that point, but had this yellow one that I use when our trucks get stuck. The pallet broke right when we were getting close to the glass door, but we decided to keep going and give it a go. This glass opening is the only place where we could bring the fireplace into the house. We put a piece of foam on the floor of the house, and the idea was to introduce the fireplace through the door with the excavator and rest it inside the house on top of the foam. Alright, I'm still sore from yesterday. Today I'm taking it a bit easy. That means that I'm gonna be trying to install a 200 kilograms fireplace down there. My experience moving heavy loads is not a very pleasant one. If you have been following the channel for a while, you will know that moving heavy objects is definitely not my forte. So after lots of thinking on how to actually move this 200 kilograms fireplace from the top of the floor all the way down to the sunken living room and then up the concrete step in the living room, I decided to buy a chain hoist, a very heavy duty one that it was supposed to lift up to 2000 kilograms. So using it only for 200 kilograms felt like a healthy and secure ratio. Alright, I have put also these two props there. You can push the fireplace close to the line, to the vertical line, because right now, as you can see, it's tilted. I'm gonna push this way. I'm gonna sit in there, just a couple of wheels sitting on this board, and some weight lifted from these straps, and see what happens, man. I'm not the best at moving heavy weights. I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can do it myself. If things get complicated, I will call Eugenia. Eugenia came to help. I called Eugenia to help secure the fireplace while I'm mounted on the board. And then I slowly lifted it with the hoist. And with the fireplace floating in there, we removed the boards. This was the most scary moment, because the fireplace is just holding from the chain. But before starting to lower it, we put a piece of foam in between the fireplace and the concrete wall to avoid scratching the whole thing. As you can see, I did remove the glass door. I thought it was wise to do so. That way it would weigh a bit less, and also I could forget about the possibility of breaking the glass with the straps or the chain. And then I put the cart underneath it so we could roll it later. The fireplace goes on top of that concrete step. We built the concrete step with the exact dimensions that we needed for this specific fireplace. Now we just needed to lift it and set it in place. If we could have 3 more guys working with me, we could maybe do this by hand, each of us lifting 50 kilograms. It's not like a crazy number, but with Eugenia alone, it was just an impossible task. We were so close to it and at the same time so far, but nothing that the hoist that I bought will not take care of. To avoid scratching the concrete step, we placed the fireplace on top of 2 pieces of foam. And now I lifted one side of the fireplace while Eugenia removed the foam.
¿Son 8 horas? Pones la puerta, ¿no?
After setting it in place, I realized that it was a bit wonky and the unit will rock back and forth, but luckily it comes with 4 legs, which are basically just 4 bolts to help you stabilize it and level the fireplace perfectly. Having a fireplace is a nice way to heat the house up, and also something that we like is not 100% because of the heat, but more of the feeling. But if you remember, before pouring the concrete floors, we installed Uponor radiant floor heating pipes. And we plan on heating the house with radiant floor heating, using the sun to power the whole system. And as I get ready to do the drywall of the whole house, now it was the time to install the manifolds that hold and supply the water to all the different heating zones that we installed. Yesterday I was able to install all the pipes. Now I'm gonna attempt to fill the system. You screw this both caps on the bottom. So right now the circuit is open. And now you just screw a hose adapter here. And we're gonna be filling over here and the water is gonna come down over here. Since I don't want the water spilling everywhere, with this small hose, I'm gonna catch all the leftover water. I need to close all the circuits, cold water and hot water. You need to fill one by one each zone. So we have 5 zones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the pipes that I'm talking about. Each zone is a continuous circuit. So the pipe goes from the manifold to the area of the floor that it needs to be heated and returns all the way back to the manifold. And that will be the circuit of one zone. That day Aspen had escaped to go wander around and visit his friends and do some damage, and this was the moment of his comeback. Over here, so this is actually the same pipe, just 2 different ends. We're gonna fill first this left one. Now water is going on in the circuit, but right now it's just through this first guy. And now I'm gonna do the same for the next one, but right now you just need to actually open this valve and this valve so it can flow to the next circuit. I did the exact same thing for all 5 circuits. You get the point, so let's move to the next day, when this van appeared in the property. The van is not a normal van, it has this crazy huge machine in its interior. It allows you to bend metal and create profiles of pretty much any length, all the way from the back of the van. Basically this roll of metal at the back gets fed through the machine, and the machine bends the metal with some rolls it has on the other end, creating a custom profile. We then cut the profile to the length we needed and brought it all the way to the roof. And continued building more profiles. Some of them incredibly long, as you can see here. It was so long that we needed 2 guys to bring it to the roof. But that was not actually the longest one that we built that day. Let's just forget about that last view and look at how long that profile is. We then screw this connection to the top of the parapet of the rooftop and secure the profile to it.
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Yeah.
It was so hard for me to edit this. I cracked myself laughing and could not get anything done for hours, but
Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route.
this profile is the last step of the roof waterproofing system. Oh no. It is basically a cap that covers the parapet, making sure that the top of the parapet is waterproof and that all the water that hits the all the water that hits it is directed towards the roof, not towards the outside of the house. The water will go to the roof, so we don't stain the white facade with the rain and the dust. Alright, it's been a couple of days since I installed the manifold, and now what we're gonna be doing is pressurize the system. I haven't seen any leaks or anything like that, so it means that it's good to go. But we're gonna be doing a pressure test with higher pressure than that. Uponor recommends doing the pressure test from 4 to 6 bars. In order to do that, we need this machine, which it has water here, and you push this lever and you add pressure to the system. I have installed this pressure reader here, so I can remove this one and leave the manifold pressurized for a few hours without having to have this machine here. The idea is to add 4 to 6 bars of pressure and then close the system, leaving this reader here, and see if the pressure drops in the next 2 hours. In the first attempt that you do, it might drop a lot because the pipes expand a little bit. After an hour or so, once you pressurize it again, it shouldn't drop more than 0.1, 0.2 I think in 2 hours. Okay, things look good, so I'm gonna go and do 5 bars and then remove this from the system. So we leave the system with this reader here. I'm gonna time like 1 hour, then come back and do the test again. This is the next day. I needed to cut this profile to build what I'm going to show you in a minute. I was a bit tired of running back and forth the whole day, I was doing so many different things, trying to get everything ready for drywall. So I started cutting without securing the profile to the table, and as you can see, the profile moves when you cut it, so instead of keep doing a half-assed job and probably injure myself, I decided to go grab the clamps and do things properly. This is the second manifold of the house, which is inside the mechanical room. It's actually the main one, and this one is going to be controlling the other one that I showed you earlier. Alright, so this has been pressurized for quite some time already, and it didn't drop, so I'm going to just remove it. What I'm doing now is building a base for it. Is installed and as you could see, secure in place, so it doesn't move at all, like super solid. Now I need to put this track here in the back to connect the Smartrix, or however they call it, Uponor Smartrix base, which basically is the controller of the whole system. We're going to be using actuators that connect with these 2 cables inside the Smartrix. These are the actuators. This thread. Screws are too long, so summer has arrived, and with it the 45 degrees weather. So this year we decided to, instead of staying here pretending that we are working, we were going to be traveling in our camper van to surf 2 days a week. And as you know, I have become a real expert on power stations, and this time I have been using the Jackery Explorer 1000 version 2. I got it a few weeks ago and I was very surprised with the size of it. Technology is getting so advanced that this new Jackery is the lighter one I have ever owned, and so portable that you can take it for a camping trip or use it on job sites, vans, RVs and off-grid projects. It has a capacity of 1070 Wh, which is enough for a couple of days of camping thanks to its durable lithium battery. I got mine with the Jackery Solar Saga 200, so I can recharge it using the sun. It is very easy, you just need to plug this end of the cable to the battery and this other end of the cable to the solar panels, and you can also charge it with an outlet. One thing we struggle with when traveling in our camper van is with our blender. Our van's battery is not powerful enough for it and shuts down, and you know, if you want to pack muscles and maintain a warrior's body like mine, you need your smoothies in the morning, even when traveling. So I tested the Explorer 1000 V2 with our blender, and it worked wonders. Delicious. It has a smart app, so you can connect the power bank with your phone via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Jackery's motto is to make renewable energy accessible anytime, anywhere, and they are nailing it. It's Prime Day, and you can save up to 65% off from July 8th to the 11th. So if you're in need of a light and powerful power bank for your trips, building site, or house, don't wait. You can use my special code for extra savings. Link and code in the description of this video. Alright guys, today I'm going to be working with Eugenia because we need to fit this green plastic conduit. It's going to be for the communication cable of the thermostat. The thermostats go connected to this box and they go daisy chain. So basically I will be connecting the first thermostat to this box with the green corrugated pipe. It's probably gonna be here or here, I don't know yet, I need to discuss it with Eugenia. The next thermostat is going to be connected to this one. I will be putting a cable from this thermostat all the way to this other room. I have one here, and from this, for example, I will fit another corrugated green conduit through there, through the ceiling to the main room. It's going to be probably here. Since we have two manifolds, we're going to be connecting also that manifold through the ceiling to this other manifold. So I think that's the first thing that we're going to do. Once Eugenia arrived, we discussed the final location of each thermostat and then started feeding pipes. These thermostats will control the temperature of each zone of the radiant floor heating, so it will heat more or less the floor depending on what temperature the room is and actually at what temperature we set the thermostat in each room. So if one room we wanted to have it a little bit warmer, you know, like the bathroom, we then just use the thermostat inside the bathroom. So this is the entry of the master bedroom, so we will open the door like this, and ideally we wanted to hide this guy behind the door, but you cannot do that because if you leave the door open, then you know the reading is not correct. So we're planning to put it there, and we have the main switches are here, the switches of the room. Where do we put it? Here? Wherever the switches go, this goes. Wherever the first switch goes, this goes right above it. Sí. Okay. And now we are in the master bathroom, and here we really don't know what to do because there is going to be a sink. Originally it was just a simple sink, but we decided to make the fireplace, which actually is here. It was delivered a couple of days ago. We decided to make the fireplace smaller instead of like this huge fireplace and have double sink.
Otherwise, we will be fighting who washed his teeth.
Otherwise, she will wash her teeth and I will wait. There won't be a fight. So now I can wash my teeth whenever I want.
It was a decision based on your comfort.
Right. So now we have a smaller fireplace, double sink. So I think it's there, no? Because the switches are here and an outlet. Alright, I have just fed this green conduit because we are going to have a thermostat here, and I'm going to leave it connected to the structure, and to do that I am using you screw it to the structure and then you feed a zip tie through it, and then you can hold the conduit or whatever you're using. And now the idea was to take one corrugated pipe to each thermostat. It goes, as I said, daisy chain. There are other ways to do it, but this one is the one that saves more cable. Here is the last thermostat of the house, and this one connects to the one in the master bedroom, and then from there we go to the thermostat in the other bathroom. And from here I still need to fit another pipe to connect to the next room, and that's how it goes. Then I fed the cable to the office. And then from the office all the way to the main box. This is the communication cable that needs to go to each thermostat. I used this cable guide to help me pass the cables. And I didn't film it because it was just a boring job, but here is the last cable that I fed to connect both manifolds. As I said, we already received the fireplace that goes in the bathroom and the master bedroom. It is a tunnel one, so you can see the bedroom from the bathroom while laying inside the bathtub, because you all know I will be taking bubble baths pretty much all day, every day after I finish this house. That is what this channel is gonna become in the future. I will just review bath salts. With the house now ready to start being built on the inside, we decided that it was time to clean up the patio so we could start working on this exterior area at the same time. For that we needed to relocate this huge shed that we have here. It is my tool shed. Taking it apart is a mess, you know, the kind of work that I truly dislike, mostly because it's not very good at all and the panels break and you know the screws don't match later. It's just a hassle, man. So instead of taking it apart, I decided that we were going to take it the whole thing at once. Eugenia wasn't very sure about this idea. It probably wasn't a good idea with the record that I have of breaking things, but it was a somewhat risky plan as the shed is just huge and the space that we have to pass around the house is not that big, so it was a little bit of a struggle. we made it safely all the way up to the parking area, and look who arrived. Magic Hands is back. We moved the platform I built for the shed and placed it here in this side of the parking, and Eugenia brought gravel to fill the base and I spread it by hand. I continued with half of my rake and finished the job. After a few minutes the base was filled and compacted, and we brought the shed to its new place. It looked like it had always been there. And finally, for first time, we can see the facade of the house without that ugly shed in front of it. The next thing was this cover area. I built it so I could protect myself from the sun and rain while building. It is shown in one of the previous episodes, but we don't need it here anymore, as we can do everything inside the house and be much protected and much cooler when it's hot. So we decided to take it apart and move it to a different part of the property. We will be reusing it to build a shaded area for the volunteer and the tractor, but that is a future project and I don't think I'm gonna be doing this anytime soon. After removing all the panels, it was time for the structure. When I built this structure, I welded the top to the legs, so I had to cut the weldings in order to be able to lift the top. Once everything was loose, Eugenia came and lifted the structure with just one arm. And look at this view. I still cannot believe that we built that house and that it looks that good. This was just an empty piece of land a couple of years ago, and now our house is there, almost finished. This area here was going to be the pool area, but we might finally build the pool a little bit closer to the house, so we don't have to go so down to the pool when we are in the house, because I have the feeling that if the pool is too far, when it's very hot, like today for example, that is like 40 degrees, I don't think we're gonna even, go to the pool too much, just not to go outside. So if we put the pool closer to the house, we both think that we will use it more often, and also having the water closer to the house might cool the area a little bit. I don't know, but it sounds like a good plan. Removing all the tools from the shed might have made the patio look better, but unfortunately the interior of the house looked like this. Luckily, since I have the trick that influencers do on Instagram, I don't use it very often because I don't like magic. This was a good moment for it. I am showing you so much work in this video that is probably the longest I have spoken in months. I don't like to speak too much, and I'm not gonna say that because you're not gonna like me, so I'm gonna be putting this. But the next day I finished covering the floor of the house. In the last video someone commented that it did not make sense to seal the floor if I was going to continue building on it. But sealing the floor now is the smartest way to do it, period. First, because you actually protect the concrete floor from paint and all the drywall work, since sealing the concrete makes it much more resistant and stronger to any of it, so if it gets stained you can just wipe it off. But also because doing what I did in the last video with the walls completely finished is just criminal, man. It makes zero sense. It is a dirty, awful job, and you really don't want to have your walls all finished and nicely and then seal the floor, because you might hit corners with that evil machine that I use, and the dirt, I mean, so much dirt. Just go back and watch it if you didn't. That dirt, it was just like mud all over the floor, will ruin all the drywall, and it will ruin 100% the AGS profiles that we're gonna be installing as shadow gaps for the bottom of each wall. So yes, finishing the concrete floor made all the sense, and now I just cover it and protect it so it does not get damaged. With the patio all clean and free of obstacles, we decided to install the main drain around the house. For that we extended this huge geotextile fabric. And then, after following Lolita's advice, we installed this drain pipe. Folding the geotextile fabric around the pipe, and also filling the whole thing with gravel in the inside. The whole drain was surrounded with gravel, then we folded the rest of the geotextile over it and covered the whole thing with gravel. Now if water hits the base of the house, this drain will take the water out as quickly as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to all our patrons for supporting our work. It means a lot to us. If you want to see behind the scenes of the build, you can do so in our Patreon page, and at the same time help us to create this content in YouTube, which is free for all of you. Also, if you want to watch the full tour of the house, you can do so on Eugenia's channel. We publish a tour in it. See you guys in the next episode.